so if we follow the four regulative principles, essentially, we stay away from sin. So for us as devotees, we don't have to worry. As long as we're following the four regulative principles, we are avoiding sin. And then avoiding sense gratification. Material objects, basically, anything that we, material objects that we want for our sense gratification, they have 5 doshas. One is Arjun dosha, hankering. We have to work very hard to get any material object. And Raksha dosha is we working hard, and then once we get it, we have to protect it. So, okay, I have a home, now I have to maintain it, I have to pay taxes for it. So one might ask, okay, is it better to own a home or is it better to rent? So, it can go both ways. But we know once the moment we hanker, okay, we need the security, we need to have a home, but the moment we have a home, we have to protect it. We have to, maintain it. And then Kshaya dosha, it doesn't last forever. Just like our bodies, we take so much care of it, but eventually, the hair starts to gray, and even if we color it, there's more gray hair. Whatever youth we have, everything starts to fade. The body starts to get diseased. You can't walk. You can't without, aches and pains. Just even like the house, it starts to get old. You have to keep maintaining it. And the other dosha is bhoga dosha. It's like once you start to enjoy, you start to too much. You also start to get sick, and then you have to do yoga to, take care of the bhoga dosha. And himsa dosha is the last of the 5 doshas mentioned. Himsa is basically, in order to acquire anything, we have to compete with other living entities to get back to the house. If there's any property that we want to own, then we're competing sometimes, even with devotees, to say, okay, we're going to pay a better price for the property, or even hurt them. Okay. Progress. Maybe I'll just switch. Hare Krishna. So for our progress, we have to climb on the shoulder of others to get any of these material objects. So all of our material desires or for sense gratification come inherently with these 5 doshas. So so during this process of anartha nivritti, we are trying, as Prabhupada says, get to 75% elimination of our anarthas, and then we can get to the stage of being fixed in our devotion. And then once we are fixed in our devotion, anartha nivritti, we experience nishtha, which is steadiness. We get to ruchi, which is taste. And asakti, attachment, bhava, and prema, which is pure love of God. Of course, we'll get a glimpse of this in the upcoming Kirtan 50, when we get to see Kalachandji being showered with flower petals all the way up to his nose, and we will get some taste and attachment. Jai. So we're at 8:19, and thank you for your attention. And I was wondering if anybody wanted to add to this important verse, or have any other comments or questions.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. What a wonderful class. I appreciated how you were talking about assimilation, that we speak with our realization, and then you came back to it. That was really quite interesting. And you mentioned when we were talking about assimilation, that we get that the key to it is surrendered listening or hearing. I was wondering if you could span such an interesting thing to me, like thinking about how we listen surrendered, surrendered listening. So I was wondering if you could expand on what that is, surrendered listening.
Yeah, in this purport, thank you, Prabhu. It mentioned submissive listening, and just recently, I was struggling with the word submissive because my practice of Krishna consciousness is based on attraction. I am attracted to the devotees. I'm attracted to Krishna, and therefore it is easy. But submissive somehow felt like just do it without. But I don't think that is what submissive is. When we have enough faith in the process, then we want to say, okay, even if I don't understand everything, because this is working for me to this degree, let me not challenge everything else. Let me, I think it's just being submissive to not letting the mind and intelligence try to counter every argument and say, well, this hasn't worked for me. But if something has worked for me, and if I have seen some progress in me, then I come to the, I want to be more submissive in my listening. Okay, let me just pay attention to what is being said, how it is being said. And even if I don't understand it right now, I think, they know what they're saying, and so let me just follow and try it out. That is my understanding of being submissive. I struggle with that word as well, because my nature is not being submissive at all. But I think that's
I really like that answer, because it was, you brought up another point that you gave in class that I thought was really one that, like, when you have a map and you see, like, for instance, like you're going to Houston, and you see a thing that says Houston 20 miles or 100 miles away, Houston 80 miles away, that, like, you're seeing progress and stuff like that. And so the more progress we make, the more easy it becomes to be submissive. And it is tough to be submissive. Thank you. Very good point.
Jagaranga Prabhu, you wanted to say something?
We were serving Prahladananda Swami Prasadam at our house, and my wife asked him a question. You asked him a question, and he said, "Oh, when you have two different things you want to do for Krishna, which one should you do?" He said, "Well, you inquire from somebody you have faith in, and then also you follow what they say." So I think that's an important part of that. Submissive hearing means that you have the intention to do what you have heard. It's not just, like you like to say, it's not just entertainment. It's fun to hear the stories, but we want to change our character, and whatever guidance we get from Prabhupada's purports, that we implement, that we assimilate it. Okay, this is meant for character development. I have to change from what I heard. Also, I would like to ask where you got those interesting breakdowns, like the 5 things of knowledge. That's not so commonly spoken. And then the 5 doshas with chutney.
The class, I have. Hold this is from Jai Shri Shri Radha Kalachandji Jai. I was just as you know, listening to His Grace Radhesham Prabhu's class on this verse, Srimad Bhagavatam 1 to 18, that he spoke in ISKCON Whitfield. So in that class, he broke everything down. And then he didn't mention a few, but then I got it from His Holiness Radhanath Swami's transcript of a talk, different levels of perception. I have the links for both of those.
I was thinking about, you were making a point at some point about sense gratification and gulabjamins, and I had to step out, so maybe I missed part of it, but where is the line between, honoring prashadam and sense gratification? Where does that become?
Of course, it is different for, in the beginning when my husband and I, we were together, I would see how much prashadam he can honor. And I would think I could do at least half of what he does, but I was getting violently sick. So we all, and then I was like, okay, we all just have different karmas. No matter, I got my karma, he's got his karma, and I cannot copy him in his ability to honor prashadam. So we have different levels, and we have to understand for ourselves. And our bodies are very kind. We'll get really sick, and we'll know, okay.
I had the similar thing that, what is the line between the two? So I was thinking that my realization was that if I can honor khichdi and gulab jamun at the same level and say, okay, this is transcendental, I think that is a good start for me.
Thank you. Anybody else like to share?
This is wow, what a question, right? When is honoring and when is? I was like, this is the fight of the devotee. For instance, we do our service, we give a nice class, and somebody says, "Oh, you did such a nice class," and sometimes we can appreciate that, and so therefore class becomes more about let me speak class, and so people will appreciate. And by the way, I'm just saying that because we're right here at Bhagavatam class, right? I mean, we're all put in positions where, Krishna is kind, and so through the devotees we get some appreciation, And then can we continue to do it for Krishna, or do we start to, It's like even I've heard it before. The final. It was from Mahatma Prabhu even. Maya's final attempt to get us is through our japa. And when I heard that, I was like, what? Like Maya and japa? And so, but why are you chanting? Are you chanting because you realize that you chant Hare Krishna? And wow, when I chant Hare Krishna, there's some mystical things going on here. All of a sudden, the things that I've been thinking about start to pop up, Or am I really chanting for Krishna's pleasure? So go ahead.
I just wanted to clarify. I'm giving this class only because you asked me to. And even in your class, you mentioned you could have anxiety giving class or doing your service, but you just do it. So for me personally, I don't like to come across as incompetent in any way. And and especially when I come back from work, devotional service is like where I just have fun. Everything has to be fun and effortless. So if I have to put any effort into devotional service, it feels very, very restrictive and gives me a lot of anxiety. And I'm like, there's so many other things I can do in devotional service. Why give class? So I am only doing this because you have asked me, and I tried to find a substitute, and that didn't work out. And so I just humbled myself and I said, okay, it is okay to appear incompetent, and okay, because I also, the other point is, I really appreciate that. Actually, in December, I've been practicing seriously for 19 years, and I show up for class, and I just, absorb. But then, even one class I'm asked to give, it is such a yagya. So my appreciation for all the Bhagavatam speakers to humble themselves, to sit in front of devotees and speak. All glories to all the speakers of Bhagavatam.
I really felt like Krishna tricked you into this, right? I was like, "Oh, Tulsi, can you help this devotee give class?" And she's like, "Yeah." And all of a sudden, that person couldn't show up. So then you didn't have to give class; you volunteered. I felt like that was Krishna. At least that was in the back of my head.
संसार दावानलनीरलोका प्रणाय कारुण्या घना घनात्यम् प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् संसारदावानलनिरलोकम् प्राणाय कारुण्या घना घनात्यम् प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् महाप्रभु की शरणित गीत वादित्रमाद्यन् मनसो रसेना रोमाञ्चकम्पासु तरङ्गभाजो वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् श्रीविग्रहाराधननीतनना सिंहारतन्मन्दिरामार्जनादौ युक्तस्य भक्तांस्याम् निजञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् संसारदावानलनिरलोक त्राणाय कारुण्या घना घनात्यम् प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् श्रीविग्रहाराधननितनाना सिंहारतन्मन्दिरमार्जनादौ युक्तस्य भक्तांस्यानिजन्यतोऽपि वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् चतुर्विधा श्री भगवत्प्रसादम् सर्वान्नकृत्याम् हरि भक्त संघान् सदैव तृप्तिं भजतो सदैव वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणारविन्दम् श्रीराधिका माधवयरपाद माधुर्जनिया गुणरूपनाम्नाम् प्रतीक्षणस्यादनललोकस्य वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणारविन्दम् संसारदावानललिलोक प्राणाय कारुण्यघनाघनत्यम् प्राप्तक्षकल्याणगुणान्नवस्य वन्दे गुणश्रीचरणारविन्दम् निकुञ्जगुणानतिकेलिसिद्धैः जाजालिविद्युक्तिरपेक्षणीया तत्रातिदाक्षादतिवल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणारविन्दम् साक्षाधरित्रिना समस्तशास्त्रैः युक्तस्तथा भावतैव सर्वैः किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणारविन्दम्